Welcome back, everybody, to Rob's MetalWorks. We are having a grand time here in the studio, taking a trip back to the beginnings of the San Antonio metal scene, and one of the bands that was critical in the rise of our scene and making it so great and all that we enjoy today is the band called Ghodsonic. I have with me Josh Squirrel and vocalist Rob Hicks here at the program. Gentlemen, welcome back to Rob's after so many years.
What's going on? How are you?
Great to have you, Josh.
Man, I can't even, what year was it? Last time we did this as Ghodsonic, yeah.
97?
Yeah.
98?
98.
Something like that, yeah.
That 97 to 2000 window was a blast and a blur all at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I remember at that time, it was a time for, and I was telling you off camera, a time for me back when, I wanted to work with the bands that I felt really were true musicians, bands that were delivering original music, and bands that kicked ass on stage, and Ghodsonic was definitely one of those bands. But that was, when you think about it, a while back now. So there's a lot of young people out there who will see this interview, and for those people and those music fans, let's talk about the origins of Ghodsonic, because I don't want to take for granted that everybody out there knows about the band just like your true fan base does. So let's give them a little highlight.
It's true. It's amazing how many years have gone by, and it does blow my mind. These Josh and Anthony went on the Billy Madison show a couple weeks ago, and they were treating the band like we had never existed before.
Wow.
And which is fine. That's great. But it like they were talking about the band name and stuff like that. I was like, holy shit, there really is a whole new life cycle after the fact. And no, as far as roots are concerned, God, we were basically high school friends. And even Squirrel, who came in later, he was in high school when he came into the band. So we have a few years on him, but honestly, we've grown up together, and it's amazing. And as far as influences, it runs the gamut. I'll let you guys speak for yourself, but I grew up on Kiss. Kiss was my first band, and that's why I like theatrics and all the attraction behind that. But
Well, I think that was one of the things that I was attracted to Ghodsonic about, is that you guys had your own sound. You guys didn't sound like anybody else, man. You played your own vibe. And Rob, you're a great singer, man. And I always dug like your clean vocals and the way that you rocked it on stage. And of course, everybody was killer on stage. So what was, if you had to explain the Ghodsonic vibe, how would you do that? How would you describe the music of Ghodsonic?
Pretty much like any band, you take all your influences, throw them together. I guess, some of the differences of some bands rip off. So this band sounds like that band. And like you said, it was a conscious effort. So it took a lot of hurdles to get there. There was times when we sounded exactly like this band or that band, and then it was just found a niche. We would sit there for hours and just play, come up with stuff. And the more different it sounded, it's where direction we went in. So if it started sounding like somebody else, we'd throw it away.
I can agree with that. I've told people often that I always thought Ghodsonic was like System of a Down before System of a Down. Not that I'm comparing us to them or saying we're better than them or they're better than us or whatever, but we, at least in San Antonio, we were bizarre, but we were heavy. So you got the metalheads coming to the shows. We were weird enough for the, alt kids to come to the shows. And we were throwback enough to our roots, Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, to where all the guys, our age and older would come out and, support. And I remember one time, I had a couple guys that were like into heavy Slayer, and just tell us, since we represented San Anto, as they put it, San Anto, we would, they would support us. So that was cool. You know what I mean?
those are all the guys looking at you.
Josh has always been kind of sexy, hasn't he?
Oh, he's a badass dude, no doubt about it. He makes the motor run, no doubt.
Well, cool. And that was the thing. You guys had the music, and you guys were appealing visually. Also, at that time, I remember I had my own Ghodsonic demo, my CD. For the record, how many releases did the band have back at that time?
Just one. We had Piss Hooker, And then Josh...
With the fluorescent colored lips
with-
on the cover, was
with-
that it?
yeah.
Little tattoo.
Yeah, somebody's tattoo.
Zach Marcotte, who was my roommate at the time, he got the Ghodsonic tattoo, and absolutely, it was his very first tattoo, and it's iconic for us anyway, and it was awesome. But in that time frame, as far as other releases, Josh got recruited obviously to Union Underground, who you may have heard of. But we went on and we did record some music that never got released.
Was that post Union Underground, Josh, or?
Union Underground, yeah.
When I left the band in '99 officially, I left basically New Year's Eve '98. I remember it was my official exit date, and then '99 was when they reformed and they got a great drummer, Mike Jones, to fill in, and they wrote some cool stuff, and we're revisiting some of that. So I'm actually playing some of the stuff I'm playing is actually Mike's stuff, and I'll give him credit for that. I don't want to take credit, away from that guy, but some of the stuff we're doing is also brand new. So there's kind of a whole mishmash of this Ghodsonic thing going on. We're not even sure where it's going to go. We're just having fun with it, and we're just happy that everybody else is latching onto it and digging it. You know what I mean?
Well, in some ways, I think for some fans, it might be a part nostalgia, and because we all want to, as we get older and become older people, want to, kind of relive those days that were magical days in the San Antonio music scene, the White Rabbit, and all the fun we used to have back then. Yeah, sneakers and partying, and our scene was very vibrant at that time and more inclusive at that time, I would say. But I think part of it too is also like, oh man, you guys, I know musicians who are just like fine wine; they just get better. So I want to hear, these guys like Rob and I were talking. He's like, man, we're just all a little bit more mature now, as people, as musicians, as family men. It's all good. So when you're more focused in that state of mind, of course you're going to produce more and stuff. I think that's kind of what's intrigued me here. I look at you guys and I'm like, man, these guys are veterans. They've done great things, and I'm excited to hear what they're going to do next. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rob.
I was going to just add on. You're right. It's a vibe that we have now that we're growing up. We're figuring out or have figured out who we are as men nowadays. And there was a time back in early Ghodsonic where, like what Alan was talking about, it's what's the latest trend. So we sound like Korn for a day. We sound like STP for a day. We sound like Incubus for a day. Nowadays, it's like, okay, who am I now, and how do I project that? And that's why I'm most excited about the songs we're creating right now. That it's fun because it's reflective of who we are as people right now. Yeah. There was a time where I would feel like I need to sing dark songs for the sake of being dark, because that's what was popular. And at the end of Ghodsonic and going into Down Satellite, which me and Steve created with Rich and JR and Chris, that was me breaking out of a mold that said I had to be dark and moody and pissed off into, hey, it's okay to talk about tackling life's issue, many issues. And now with Ghodsonic being reinvented again, I want to take it that much further, because who I was in 1999 is not who I am in 2015.
Let me ask that question. We were here, you guys have been here already for a little bit, before we started shooting. And of course, while you're here, I know you guys think I'm just drinking beer, but I'm not. All these questions are going through my mind. And Squirrel, when I saw you tonight, I haven't seen you in many, many years. And throughout that time, I was wondering, pondering in the last week when I knew this interview was going to go on. I said, where's this guy been? I haven't heard or seen anything from him musically in quite some time. So my first question to you is, like, where have you been? And did you just kind of like step away and do other things, which is completely fine? And even if you did, were you still playing guitar and doing music just at home?
Yeah, took a definite break for a while. Got into studio recording.
Like on the back end, like producing, or just recording your own stuff?
If I'll drop a couple of little wacky names, but there's a guitar player in town named Chris Boss. I did a CD for him. that was really fun. Like recorded and engineered it. Then I did some stuff in Dallas. I did a band called Power, which was electronic. And then I did another rock band, and that was kind of cool. I got to get produced from David Costell, who did Blue October. Like he said, I came up with a lot of riffs, and I felt responsible for a big chunk of the sound. And once that went away, it was just, I didn't know what to do. And the whole music thing changed, you know. I mean, I don't want to say we were the best run. I had a family and stuff. I mean, family and divorce, those kind of cool things. So
Yeah, Josh and I had our heart-to-heart about divorce a few nights ago at Fitzgerald's. So yeah, you know, life happens. Okay, great that you stayed busy, and I want to commend all of you, each of you, for even, you know, throughout all these years that you believed in Ghodsonic enough to say, hey, we can come back and do Ghodsonic again.
I want to make a good point here. Sonic, everybody, you know.
Steve Sonic, original bass player, now guitar player, just for the people who don't know.
I don't know him as Sonic. I've known the guy since, what, like 88, 89? So I call him Steve. And then, you know, he's the anchor of this band. I mean, so I wish he could be here tonight because he's really, you know, Tony put this back together. Anthony Aleman, our bass player, who's the original bass player. But without Steve, Sonic, Boom, or whatever he wants to be called this week, he's awesome. You know what I mean? So we can't do this without him. So I just want to make that known to anybody that wants to know about Ghodsonic. It's because of Steve. Yeah, he's without him, this doesn't run. You know what I mean?
Okay, so let's take it to looking towards the future, and let's talk initially about the reunion of Ghodsonic. How did the reunion happen? Whose idea was it? And
Anthony. I think.
who is now the bass? He's a bass player.
Yeah,
When you say like Anthony was at the heart of it, like explain to us. Did he call everybody and say, hey, let's get together, or let's just have a jam, or did he come right out of the gate with the idea like, let's get Ghodsonic back together?
Literally the logistics. Like, let's more than just talk about this at a high level when we're having a beer. What time are you available? What dates are you available? What songs do we want to play? Here's some, you know, Josh actually took the reins as far as where we should play because he has great connections in that sense.
Was everyone initially wholeheartedly saying yes, or were there some hesitation from anybody?
I was in. He wasn't.
We tried it a few years ago without Anthony, and not to disclude him or anything, but that's just the way it was working out. But then I was going through my divorce, and you know I wasn't able to commit and blah blah blah. So it didn't work out, at least as Ghodsonic as you remember it, you know, with the four-piece. But Tony was very persistent and he motivated everybody. And then, you know, I had the connections, he had the drive, and we just told everybody else, look, let's just try it.
Okay, guys, so thank you very much for sharing about what's happening musically. When would you anticipate that maybe are you guys planning to release an official release into the marketplace, or just release like I think a lot of the bands from nowadays are releasing like 2 or 3 songs here and there. Is that something that you want to do, or do you want to release like a full-length old school LP for the band?
I'm thinking it'd probably be digital, like a lot of people are doing nowadays. So far about 5. We'll see what comes out of it, but I think everybody's kind of in writing mode right now. I'm having a blast with the material that I've been sent. And it's like Squirrel was saying, it's all computer nowadays. So it makes it easy because I live up towards Austin. So they send it my way, I send it back, we ping it back and forth, and it's a fun way to create.
If you had to compare some of what the band has done in the past and what the band is doing now, we've talked about the maturity level of the individuals in the band. How is that kind of transgressing into the music?
Well, damn good. I mean, part of it too, like I said, we're going to go back to computers. Writing a computer is a lot different than writing in a room with people, cracking some beers and just letting it flow. So it's a different organic type of situation. It's cool, it's convenient. I kind of miss the old way of doing things, but with timing schedules and stuff, it works. So I don't know you know, the maturity is going to really be in the lyrics, and I think in the music, we probably won't experiment so much with weird stuff like we did in the past. We kind of been there, done that. Right now, it's just kind of let's churn them out, have some fun, make them catchy, quick and easy. Because we just, you know, we're all getting older, so it's not like we're trying to pump out 5 albums, you know. So when you said like a couple songs here and there, that's probably the feasible way.
Or reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, I'm trying, but you know.
With some of the newer material, Rob, you know, he doesn't. Not that he was ever like screamo, emo, and he was never, you know, Cookie Monster either.
Rob always
you
had a
know.
clean
Rob,
voice.
yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was one of the things that made Ghodsonic special, different. Was Rob's clean voice?
I tried, dude. I tried. Just can't scream.
Good stuff. So, really quick, and let's move on. When will the new music be out?
That's a great question. I think right now,
When would you like for it to be out?
this year, probably early next year. I think it's a matter of where we record. I think Squirrel has a great recording technique down. We can probably do this shit for free and put it out.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Ghodsonic. I want people to understand. We're not trying to be the next Metallica. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. You know. Yeah. So, you know, 5 guys from high school having fun. You know, that's what we're doing. And if we can sell a few records along the way, make a few bucks on T-shirts, stickers, maybe play a festival or 2 in Europe, you know, stuff like that. You know, do some quality shows, but we're not going to be doing $100 gigs at fill in the blank. You know, again, when you see a Ghodsonic show, it's going to be just like it always was. It's going to be a great freaking show with 5 guys that love each other, that love playing together. You know, hopefully have some props. I mean, who knows, some special effects, whatever. But it's all about the music, and it's all about the lyric.
It's about us.
Yeah, it's about us. So we're celebrating us. I mean, if y'all want to come and celebrate with us, that's awesome.
And I think that was the way that you described it, I think that was the impression with all that people that went to your first reunion show at Jack's Patio Bar. I heard that it was an amazing event. Unfortunately, I could not be there, but I will be there for your next show. It is on June 27th this month, right? At the Falls. We will be there. The crew will be there shooting it. We're very, very excited to see the band, and I know that you guys are gonna definitely perform and give everybody a great night that night. So, what else after the fall show? Will you kind of try to work on wrapping up the CD, or do you guys have other shows planned right now, or what's the deal there?
Heaven Below, who's the leader, is Patrick Kennison from Union Underground, my old guitar player. He's going to be doing a small Texas tour, so we're looking into maybe doing like a San Antonio, Austin, Corpus, kind of run with them. Just, you know, because it'd be kind of cool, you know. The other thing is Lita Ford is supposed to be coming to town late summer, early fall, we're hoping. And Patrick also being the guitar player. You know, it's kind of that, you know, people. So I've already got my hands in some pies. So if you see us on some good shows, it's because these motherfuckers are guys.
But you know, it's all about relationships. I know that. We all know that. Nonetheless, I mean, for whatever reason, I hope the things continue to move forward with the band, and I'm so happy to see you guys back and just pursuing doing Ghodsonic because it's fun. Because it's fun. No other reason, right?
Yeah, thanks to people like y'all for, you know, supporting us on these shows. Really important.
Next year will be my 20-year anniversary, and I'm gonna have a party. I hope you guys come. Will you come?
Live show?
Well, we'll have somebody show up, but just I'm one of those people, like, I keep it small. You know, I'd rather have my 10 best friends around me than 150 people I didn't know. But anyway, thank you guys for coming on the program. I've had you here long enough. I know, but it was great to talk with you. Great to find out all the new information. My crew and I are going to be stoked to be at the show in a couple of weeks. Any last words for people out there who will see this interview around the world? Anything you want to share with them about Ghodsonic, you personally, or how you feel about San Antonio's music scene?
We are a brand new band. We've been around for about 6 months now, and we're going to be working hard on our next day EP and touring the world and getting signed.
Just thanks to everyone that's come out to see us. That's about all I can say.
He's going to be the serious one.
Say it, Josh.
I don't have anything to say about it.
Bullshit. You always have something to say.
Stumped it.
And my friend.
Ghodsonic means nothing, but it means a lot. So just, it implies a lot. So we have our own meanings.
It's where you started. What would have happened in your career without Ghodsonic?
I wouldn't have done what I did. Absolutely, yeah. Oh yeah, but it's not because of this band Ghodsonic that did that for me personally. If we're gonna talk about that, it was because of the brotherhood between Alan, Rex, Rob, Steve, Anthony, Tony. Like I couldn't exist personally, musically, without those other four guys. I would not be where I'm at right now. And I don't mean that like in a success thing. I mean like me. Yeah, me, like Josh Memolo. I can't. So music brought that to us. So I don't know if the feeling's mutual, but that's how I feel.
Well, that's pretty special because I don't think a lot of dudes have that with other dudes. Gentlemen, thank you. Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Squirrel. Thank you, Rob. Everyone out there, remember, how can you forget? The band is Ghodsonic from right here in San Antonio. One of the innovators of our scene here, continuing the spirit, man, of pursuing music for just a simple passion. Remember, you saw the band right here only on Rob's MetalWorks.